Finally, I'm getting to part 2 of Unveiling Meghan Markle, and I'm starting where I left off, and that is with her family, and probably the most important person we need to look into, seeing that she still features prominently in Meghan's life, and that is her mother, Doria Loyce Ragland. Doria was born on the 2nd of September 1956 in Cleveland, Ohio. She has two older maternal siblings, Joseph and Sandra Johnson, and a paternal half-brother, Geoffrey Ragland. She went to Fairfax High School. At some point, she obtained a BA in psychology, and in 2015 apparently a Master's of Social Work. Doria worked as a makeup artist after school, and that is where she met Meghan's father, Thomas Markle. Doria is 5 foot 5 inches tall and weighs approximately 55 kilograms. She married Mr. Markle on the 23rd of December 1979. She worked as a social worker and retired in 2018 and went on to become a yoga instructor, something she is apparently still doing. It is, however, known to us that although Doria and Thomas divorced when Meghan was 6, but still retained a friendly relationship, that Meghan went to live with her father at the age of 11 or 12. And this has been confirmed by a number of people. And the question then comes up as to why. Why did Meghan go live with her father? Now, there are a number of stories doing the rounds, one of which is that Doria was a flight attendant at the time. And here is where it gets interesting, because Catherine's mother, Carol, was indeed a flight attendant. The difference between Carol and Doria, however, is that it is known which airline Carol was a flight attendant for, and she was indeed a flight attendant for British Airlines for a period of 3 years. However, no one has come forward to actually say which airline Doria was a flight attendant for, or an air hostess for, or for how long. So that makes it very difficult to accept as the God's honest truth. Another story which was doing the rounds was that Doria was in jail. Now, I got someone to do a record search for me, and we did find that she had a record of some sort. Now, I was not prepared to pay, as I don't earn in dollars or pounds. I was not prepared to pay for the full record, so we just got the basics. And it does appear as if Doria had financial troubles. So it may not be anything extremely ominous other than what we already know about her, and that is that she filed for bankruptcy in 2002. Now, Meghan was at college in 2002, so that does still not explain why she went to live with her father at the age of 11 or 12. Yeah, and that is something that I guess only the family will know for sure, and we need to decide whether that is really important or not. In my mind, I think it is important. I think the, let's say, loss of her mother at a critical point in her life when she was becoming a teenager. And then I must just stop myself and say that Mr. Markle actually defended Doria here and said that she was still in contact with Meghan, although he did not elaborate and say what kind of contact. But yes, I think not having your mother around at that critical age, becoming a teenager and your body changing, definitely had an influence on who Meghan is today. The other thing is, both her parents, her mother and her father, filed for bankruptcy at a certain point in their lives. And I think this also had an influence on Meghan. And that is probably why, having seen her parents' financial hardships, why she is so set on having enough money, and why enough is never enough for her, because she had seen money come and go. Okay, so let's have a quick look at Meghan's previous relationships. During Meghan and Harry's relationship, there was the occasional comparisons being made to both of their previous relationships. Meghan dated a guy called Louis Seguera during her school years, or in her late school years, and I'm not going to even spend time looking at him. I'm going to start during her college years. Now, during college, we are aware of two guys that she dated. The first was a guy called Sean Zaken, I'm not sure how to pronounce his surname, who went on to become a comedy writer. Meghan dated him for 6 months. More notably though, and there was more fuss during her college years made about this relationship, was her relationship with a guy called Steve Lepore, who was a well-known basketball player. The relationship only lasted about 6 months as well, but as far as we know, they broke up because he was transferred to another college after receiving a more lucrative offer. What is strange about this relationship though is that although it is known and has been confirmed that she had a relationship with Steve, because as she herself said, it gave her more fame and cred amongst her fellow students, Steve Lepore absolutely refuses to talk about his relationship with Meghan, not even with his current wife. So that leaves one to wonder, what happened in this relationship that Steve absolutely refuses to talk about it, not even to his own wife. He does apparently not even like for it to be mentioned. Shortly after college, she dated TV actor Brett Ryland. They dated for a short period of 5 months, and why that relationship came to an end, we do not know. I could not find anything on it. And now for a relationship that there had been a lot of talk and rumor about, and that is her relationship with Joe Giuliano, who had gone on to become a lawyer. it was said that Meghan and Joe got married at some point and that the marriage was annulled. Now, as the laws in different countries differ, I'm not sure whether an annulment in the United States is a matter of public record. However, I could not find any proof of this annulment, and perhaps one of my viewers can advise me as to whether this would be on public record so we can go look elsewhere. At this stage it is just a rumor, as Joe had so far refused to comment. However, I'm adding a photograph of Meghan and some friends during that period of time in her life, and in my mind that looks like a wedding party and not just a party. It looks like a bride and her bridesmaids, but that is the closest I could come to proof that she was married prior to her marriage to Trevor Ingleson. And then there was her much talked about relationship with Simon Rex, who is well known for his stint in the pornographic industry. It was also alleged that during her relationship with Simon that she had made her very own short pornographic film. Exactly how long her relationship with Simon lasted, I'm not sure, and exactly why they broke up, I'm not sure either. There are a lot of rumors and speculation, which is not something I want to spend time on. Something else which cropped up and has been spoken and speculated about is whether Meghan Markle was involved with Alex Soros at some point. I found this photograph of Alex and supposedly Meghan and had a good look at it. Some people say that it is a Meghan lookalike, and I even found information on Fact Check that it is a lady called Hannah Motley. I am not sure. If I look at the photograph, the woman with Alex looks a lot like a younger Meghan, but it is also quite possible that it could be Hannah. I was thinking that maybe at a later point I will do a complete video on the Soros family, and maybe that would shed more light on this photograph. It is known that Meghan dated Trevor Ingleson for approximately 6 years before they got married September 2011. The marriage did not last long, as we all know, and they got divorced in 2013. Trevor Ingleson has to date not spoken out about his relationship or his marriage to Meghan Markle. The only thing he ever said was that in the end he felt like something at the bottom of her shoe. Most of us here know that Meghan dated Rory McIlroy, the golfer, in 2014. How their relationship went and exactly for how long they saw one another or why they stopped seeing each other is largely unknown. And what is known is nothing more than gossip at this point. So not much to see or talk about here. The last relationship we know about before Harry was her relationship with Corey Vitiello, a well-known chef. They dated for approximately 2 years and even lived together for a while. Now, from all accounts, it appears as if they had a very good and steady relationship, and even that she got along very well with Corey's family. As a matter of fact, Corey's mother did speak out about Meghan's relationship with her son, and everything she had to say was complimentary. It was also accepted or expected that Meghan and Corey would one day marry, and then their relationship ended in May 2016. According to Corey's mother, the relationship was ended by Corey and not Meghan. Friends said that Corey ended the relationship after an argument over dinner one night. The argument apparently was about food, and Corey decided that enough is enough. According to Corey's mother, it is very likely that Corey took some offense at something Meghan said, or perhaps that she criticized something about his cooking methods. But until either one of us tell the truth, which is highly unlikely, we will not know. What we do get from her relationships with men is that regardless of the fact that she says that she's a feminist, it is quite obvious that Meghan, since leaving school, had not ever been without a boyfriend for too long. After all, she started dating Harry mere weeks, even mere days, we're not sure, but weeks after she broke up with Corey, with whom she had a steady relationship for a relatively long period. Now, that, according to psychiatrists and psychologists, is not healthy, because if you were emotionally invested in a relationship, there should be a period of mourning, different phases that one needs to go through before embarking on the next relationship. And now this appears to be something Meghan Markle do not believe in. She seems to move from one man to the other within days or weeks after breaking up with someone. From personal experience, I would go along with what psychiatrists say and say that this is not a healthy scenario. Perhaps that is also the reason why the relationship between Harry and Meghan was rocky from the start. So this is my take on Meghan Markle and possible reasons for her being who she is. Something I would like to do at the end of a few of my videos is to give a shout out to other YouTubers, and this week it's a shout out to Nathan Evans, a young man whose beautiful voice gives me the chills. I recommend you go to his channel, give him a thumbs up, and perhaps encourage him to post more videos in the future. I thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.